want to say that our participants, Olympian participants, they will show their solutions about climate change, and these young people will talk that we should to reach all sustainable development goals because it's very important for our climate agenda. And today we will see solutions by Bangladesh, Costa Rica, Cuba, Russia, Myanmar, India, and Ethiopia. I don't know, they will be here. And the first will be Bangladesh. And I want to add that today we have a lot of experts from the climate agenda, and we will ask them our very important questions from young people to these old and very smart people. Okay, the first one, Bangladesh. Are you here? Bangladesh. Dassan Mohammed.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, my mic was a bit glitchy. I'm sorry about that. I had a technical issue.
Okay, can you show us your solution
Yeah.
for this
Yeah,
Olympian?
sure. Just a moment. Let me share my screen first. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Thank you.
Okay. So let me just make it big. Just a moment. I'm having some issues. Yeah. Now I get it. Just a moment, please. Yeah. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon to all represented delegates and my fellow friends and teammates. I would like to thank the Serious Educational Center and the United Nations Global Compact Network Russia for giving us the opportunity to take part in this important session. My name is Tasin Mohammed, representing Bangladesh at the International Olympiad on Climate Change and Environmental Issues. Every member of Team Bangladesh at IOCE is part of the Sustainability and Life Sciences Network Bangladesh, a youth-led group that encourages scientific thinking and practical climate action. The ideas I'm presenting today reflect our shared work and field experience. So today I will introduce two models that focus on two important areas: rising heat in cities and pressure on water and food systems in coastal regions. Yeah. So the first model is the urban cooling network, also known as the biopixels. Cities often face intense heat because concrete and asphalt trap warmth throughout the day. While large parks can reduce this, they are difficult to create in crowded places. So biopixels offers a simple alternative by turning small unused spaces into tiny forest units that cool nearby areas. Each unit uses native plants with low water needs and soil enriched with biochar. And we can also plant sensors around them so that they can measure temperature, humidity, and carbon absorption, creating a live map that guides planners on where additional units will have the strongest effect. This makes urban cooling easier, measurable, and suitable even for dense neighborhoods. So now the second model is solar aquatonics, designed for coastal communities affected by saltwater intrusion, drinking water shortages, and unstable food sources. Traditional desalination requires fossil energy and releases waste that harms marine life. And it replaces this with it replaces this with a sunlight powered closed system Solar heat produces clean water from seawater, and the water that we get then supports an aquaponic greenhouse where fish and plants grow together in a shared cycle. The small amount of leftover salt water that we got can be used to grow salt tolerant crops like samphire and like some other crops that can be grown in salt
मेरा
water,
नाम ही ऐसा है भाई.
and turning what would normally be waste into something useful. This model provides clean water, steady food production, and new livelihood options without harming the environment. And while it feels coastal regions in Bangladesh or like several other countries that are near the salt water, and it can be adapted to many other places facing similar problems like this. So now I'd like to thank you for giving me the space to represent these solutions. I appreciate the commitment shown by everyone here, and through cooperation and shared learning, I believe young people from different countries can help each other by designing approaches that support communities facing climate stress. And I'm really grateful for your attention, for the chance to contribute to this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I want to say that everyone can ask some questions. And I have questions for you. Have you showed your solution in Bangladesh?
Have I shown, in which, have I implemented my solutions, or you are talking about that? Have I shown to the experts in Bangladesh?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, have you showed your solution of maybe in some administration in Bangladesh?
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay, so after I came back from Russia, after attending that Olympiad, IOCE, I had opportunity to meet our honorable advisor from the Environment Ministry, and I had a conversation with her, and she asked me to like how to solve these problems and what did you do in Russia and what did you present and everything. So I explained it to her, and then she and I were we had a small talk about what to do next, because like we need like huge amount of funding and also some like so many people to do it. So that's why we are like looking forward, because I was pretty busy because with my like 12th board exams and everything. After this, and I believe that we'll be working together with the government of Bangladesh in near this December or the next January, I guess.
pretty cool. Thank you. I'm so happy that you will prolong your solution.
Mm.
Okay, maybe someone has questions.
Well, just in case, the most important question usually is who's going to pay and how much. Have you already done any kind of calculations? So how much is it for your country to implement the projects? And by the way, thank you. Very interesting ones. Very reasonable and quite possible to implement. So do you have any plans, idea, or calculations? How much could this project cost?
Okay, so first of all, Bangladesh is a like developing country. The economical situation of our country isn't so great. So, but the thing is that in Bangladesh, we have like so many trees here and there. I mean, scattered way, not in a planned way. I mean, and but the like major cities, there are like a huge urbanization, and people mostly people from Bangladesh live in the cities. So that's why my first solution says like small implementation of those plans, right? So when I like tried to calculate the costs, that before like talking to the experts, I had a like calculation that it would cost for every square meter it would be like 10 or $15. I mean, in US dollars, I mean. So, I mean, it isn't that much considering the like funding and like the situation in Bangladesh nowadays. I mean, people are enthusiastic about changing the situation right now for like the climate issues, and but that's why, and we we may get like enough funding from government to like solve these issues. I mean, we are talking about the capital right now, because if we like start doing this in the capital, it would be like the first step for us. So we asked them for about like $10,000, and they have said that they will be arranging it soon, and so that like we can start campaigns or like doing like practical field works with the government, and then like start doing these projects.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Daria. I think that we may continue with the next speaker because we have so many of them, and then leave some space to ask more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
And
Thank you
next,
so much.
next is the team from Costa Rica, Georgiosio Alarcon Angua. We are waiting for you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. I said good morning because here is 6 a.m. And well, I'm going to present the work that we did in the competition in the IUC 2025. So, of course, one of my goals is improve these ideas. And okay, I'm going to start. Perfect. Okay, for the goal number 12, ensure sustainable consumption and production partners. Our idea was developed, improve, and promote the circular economy of products worldwide to extend the useful life of materials and eradicate consumerism. This in order to reduce the carbon footprint of companies, the exploitation of natural resources, and the socioeconomic problems of developing and developed countries, given a circular approach to the products manufactured and therefore a lower consumption. This approach is justified due to the high human consumption worldwide, regardless of geographical or climatic or socioeconomic factors, as high consumption generates a great deal of pollution by so much waste in this use. For the goal number 15, protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems sustainably, and manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Improve, create, and implement more environmental conservation standards in national parks around the world. This in order to protect ecosystems from carbon footprint and reduce the impact of climate change regardless of environmental socioeconomic factors. This approach is important because in many parts of the world, people prefer to make money from national parks rather than protect them. Therefore, a better way to promote tourism in national parks is proposed, improving the country's economy in a sustainable way and always complying with environmental conservation standards, giving priority to the conservation of the ecosystem before economic income. For goal number 9, build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Updating standards for clean energy supply across the economy, industrial production, and human consumption, large-scale infrastructure construction and transport, in order to foster sustainable innovation in industry and infrastructure and reduce the impact of the carbon footprint. This updating of standards is of paramount importance, especially in developing countries, as it would allow better use to be made of technological advances and environmental conservation to achieve a modern worldwide supply. For goal number 6, ensure availability and sustainable management of water sanitation for all. We propose with digitalization, find new opportunities, forms, and actions to remotely monitor water pollution in water processing and treatment plants in order to take advantage of technological breakthroughs, improve the economy and water treatment worldwide, reducing the carbon footprint of mechanical drinking water treatment systems. In this way, work efficiency would be improved and countries would save money in their economic models. This is because many countries in the world waste resources and money on water purification due to their low technological innovation. So this way, water treatment would be in a modern way all over the world. And for the goal number 11, make citizen human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Implement real-time urban environmental monitoring networks using low-cost sensors and AI analytics to measure air quality, heat islands, water runoff, noise pollution, and energy use across city districts. The data would feed an open platform accessible to citizens, policymakers, and local industries. This is all. And of course, I want to work more in these ideas. I want to improve these ideas. And of course, if there is a really bad idea, change for another idea, because I remember that we did this work in the Olympiad and we only had for 5 hours to do it. But yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. And I want everyone that everyone can ask questions. And I have a question for you. How would you use AI for monitoring air quality? Maybe you have some mechanism in your country for it, or maybe you will use the best technology in the world for it.
Yeah, one of my ideas was use AI, because sometimes, for example, my country use it's not so common, but I know that in another countries probably it's more common. Use, for example, um, uh, okay, mechanical um, things for mechanical treatment plants, for example, for the water, okay? But but we can use AI, we can use innovative technology to improve these and improve, for example, the money that they spend in this. So we can do and developed new technology for this. For example, I don't have a clear idea with AI, but I know that with artificial intelligence
Thank you. We really hope that we will
and
use the AI in near time. Thank you so much. Who has questions or maybe who wants something to add?
I'm sorry because I'm improving my English. So
Everything
it's
is clear. Don't worry about it.
okay.
Okay, and the next team is Cuba. Cuba is here.
We're here.
Thank you. We're waiting for you. Good luck. We can hear you.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Your
I
mic.
don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, now yes.
Yeah, we hear you. Okay.
Thank you. We are the Cuban team. We are Sofia, Erika, Annabelle, and Helen. Helen is not here with us yet. We have some problems with the connection. It's complicated to us to participate here, so it's an honor to present our work. First of all, we want to talk with you about a project we made here in Cuba about vermicompost. It was a study on vermicompost as a sustainable method for high quality crops at the Nesto Guevara school. Annabelle? Well, I'm going to present our project.
Hi, sorry. Well, our project is about a problem. In rural communities, the use of organic waste is a common practice to improve soil fertility. However, poor management of these wastes leads to environmental and health issues, significantly contributing to greenhouse gases emissions such as methane and nitrous oxide. So as data we recollected is that livestock farming is responsible for 18% of global greenhouse gases emissions due to anaerobic decomposition of manure. That's according to the Food and Agriculture Organization. And it's from 2023 data. So as a solution, we propose vermicomposting, which is a technical and sustainable alternative to reduce greenhouse gases emissions. Close the biological cycle of organic matter and produce high quality fertilizers. So the general objective of our project is to evaluate a vermicomposting system at the Ernesto Che Guevara IPVC, by estimating greenhouse gases emissions and we are going to compare greenhouse gases emissions between vermicompost, traditional compost, and untreated manure. We are going to analyze the quality of the produced humus by analyzing pH, organic matter percent, and nutrients. And we are going to design a sustainable management protocol to reduce emissions at the institution, IPVC Ernesto Che Guevara. We use randomized block design with 3 treatments and 4 replicates over 3 months. For the worm inoculation, we use 500 individuals of Eisenia foetida per square meter. And we monitor it every 7 days, the values of temperature, humidity, and emissions. Sophia, can you speak now?
Yes.
Thank you.
You kind of disappeared.
Well, samples were extracted using essential instruments for the activity, placed in black polyethylene bags, and immediately transported for chemical analysis, conducted at the Provincial Soil and Fertilizer Laboratory of Villa Clara, belonging to the Minagri. Is the Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture. The measured variables included greenhouse gases emissions in static chambers, gas analyzers, compost quality with the values of pH, organic carbon, total of nitrogen, and the results were that the analysis carried out allows us to affirm that the best alternative is vermicomposting, reducing emissions of methane and nitrous oxide by up 16% and increasing soil productivity. Fresh untreated manure emitted approximately 20.5 kilograms of CO2 and 4.5 kilograms of methane. The traditional composting reduces these parameters, but the best alternative is vermicompost. Then we analyzed the humus quality, and we saw that the vermicompost obtained at the PVC Ernesto Che Guevara exhibits a pH level of 7.2 to 0.3, and this value falls within the optimal neutron to slightly alkaline range recommended by the FAO, which is 6.5 to 8.0. A pH within this range is ideal for most of crops, as it ensures nutrient availability and does not acidify the soil. The organic matter content exceeds the FAO's minimum recommendation, and a high organic matter content significantly improves soil structure, water retention, and microbial activity. And the total nitrogen level, that it was 1.8 to 0.2%, is within the ideal range specified by the FAO, which is 1.5 to 2.5%. And
Я же
nitrogen is a primary
Что ты
nutrient
говоришь?
for plant growth, and this level indicates a rich nutrient-dense fertilizer.
Договор смотан на 60 дней.
In Cuba,
Please turn off your
А
microphone.
зарплата с тобой тоже будет, дай это Бог, 15.
okay.
Mikhail,
Блин.
you can
Если, конечно,
turn
до.
off your microphone.
Кто там не проснется раньше.
Mikhail, you can please turn off your microphone. Thank you. Sophia, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. We're waiting for you. You can continue.
Yes, thank you.
Your microphone is off. Sophia, are you hear us?
Yes, the connection is failing. Sorry. Well, when we see these parameters, we can conclude that vermicomposting is a great alternative to conduce our crops and our workers of agriculture to a sustainable agriculture. I mean, Cuba is a country that right now is going through a process, many process that conduce us to a failing economy. I don't know if you know what I mean. Here is very complicated for the people to obtain good fertilizers to their soils, and to the workers it's hard to obtain good fertilizers to their crops. So vermicompost is a sustainable and accessible option to our country to develop the agriculture. During the process, we talk with the workers of the Ernesto Che Guevara school, and they told us that vermicomposting is the best alternative to make the crops grow better in a country where it's difficult to obtain another types of fertilizers as synthetic fertilizers, I don't know, nitrogenous fertilizers. I think we think it's a good option to the countries that don't have much economy, very developed economy. Well, I think now we have another project. Erica, you can talk, please.
Erica, we can hear you. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Thank you.
The thing is that we in Cuba made an investigation. We went to the field. We went to an estuary of a river named Ibacoa just to observe the impact of climate change and contamination. And we found that the zone of the river was mainly contaminated, and the coastal area was also contaminated by plastic residues and aluminum residues too. That's because of because we don't and because of the irresponsibility of the people that usually throw trash in the sand, and sometimes when the tide is going high, then the trash goes into the sea. But we also found that the Mariel zone wasn't that contaminated. The zone that was more contaminated was the zone of the river, because it was an estuary, and the river presented in a state of dystrophisation, that it's degrading. It's a state of contamination of rivers, lakes, that is caused by high amounts of organic matter. So we were trying to we were proposing that, first of all, we need the collaboration of the people that live in that area, the people that work in that area, to keep these beaches clean so the people can swim in there and also the fauna can thrive. By putting also trash cans that can be used, because we also noticed that in that area there were no trash cans, and also in putting some sort of pay for the people that are breaking the law, the rules that are going to be imposed. We also wanted the government to try something and implementing more recycling plants, because there are not so many recycling plants, and also water treatment places. We would also found that we also proposed that it was something that we could close the area or isolate the area of the contaminated river so it doesn't keep contaminating the ocean waters. And we also found that there was an industry up in the river, so I think that they also could like close their water deposits, so it doesn't go into the rivers and then to the ocean. And I think that's all we have prepared for today, for this meeting.
Well, I think that's all.
Okay, thank you
So,
for this interesting
well,
thank you so much for your interesting project and your solutions. Maybe someone has questions.
Yes, hello.
hi.
Good afternoon to everyone. I want to ask you, which of the sustainable development goals, from your point of view, your project is mostly relevant to, like the first one? And can you imagine of what new indicator can be created for this goal to measure the effectiveness of your special composting method?
Sorry, here is bad the connection. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, of course. when we are talking about our sustainable development goals, just how do you think, which of these goals do you think your project is mostly relevant to? Like the first one, when you were talking about this special method of composting, and you know that these goals have their special indicators, and how do you think what new indicator can be created for the goal you have chosen to measure the effectiveness of your proposal, the composting proposal method?
Well, I think our project, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, it's perfect. Well, I think our project fulfilled the first, no, the second goal, which is um, I have a problem with my connection. Please, someone can, Erika, Annabelle, can you answer the question, please?
First of all, the first project was mostly orientated to reduce the amounts of greenhouse gases that were emitted, because mostly of these gases in the most we found that most of these greenhouse gases were emitted by the agricultural industry, and we found that this vermicomposting was a way to reduce these levels of greenhouse gases, and we would propose to implant some plants that were I don't know, that would measure measure and compare the levels of greenhouse gases emitted by our vermicomposting places and the normal places. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yes.
If not,
Yes, of course, for sure. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
is there another question that you would like to make?
Other questions? Okay, we are going to the next team.
Можно вопрос?
Yes, of course.
29 октября большой ураган прошел Ямайку и обрушился на Кубу. Это большое стихийное бедствие, мы соболезнуем. И как считают наши кубинские друзья, такие чрезвычайные ситуации природного характера связаны с изменением климата? Спасибо.
Well, of course, we can see that Cuba has going through a lot of extreme natural process, such as the recent hurricane, and we can say that the climate change is also affecting Cuba. Although we don't present a high CO2 emissions or greenhouse gases in general, but all the climate change has affected our country. I mean, we have heat waves constantly. Here, the the heat levels are increasing. In the morning, the temperatures are so high, and then in the evening they start to low the temperatures, and the night is very cold here, just like a desert. Like a desert. Of course, the climate change is affecting us. That's why we would like to combat the climate change, not in just our country, around the world, because the actions of other big countries are affecting the little and poor countries such as Cuba and a lot of countries in Central and South America and in Africa and other parts of the world.
Thank you for your answer. Okay, maybe other country or other questions. Okay, the next team is team from Russia.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. We are the team from Russian Federation, and we are very grateful for this amazing opportunity to present our solutions here. And today we are assuming the role of the UN Youth Club to develop the current indicators of sustainable development. The problem of today is that the existing indicators don't reflect the indirect aspects of achieving the SDGs, and they assess only the damage that has already occurred. And most importantly, they don't take into account the abilities of young people who should become the engine of the progress in the face of climate change. So we've chosen 5 SDGs, and we understand that all the SDGs are very, very important and connected with climate change, but we've chosen the 5 key ones. So my name is Sophia, and now I'm giving a word to our amazing team.
Hello, I'm Nikita Yunisov, and I'm a specialist in the field of sustainable agriculture. So, second goal, zero hunger. Why did we choose this goal? Achieving this goal directly depends on climate change. Food safety depends on abnormal events. Consideration of climate indicators are so important for future generations and their food security. So, our indicators. First, the share of farmers who have ability to the use of nature-like innovative technologies for adapting agriculture to climate change, including low-carbon technologies, because the availability of technology and innovation is a tool for providing food security and reducing hunger in changing climatic conditions. Second, the number of people who can benefit from genetic resources, because they are the material for selection in constantly changing climatic conditions, and their benefits must be used on an equal and fair basis. Third, the level of food safety in agriculture, which may be reduced due to abnormal climatic events, because there is a defect in quality of produce due to heat and floods. Proper equipment is needed to achieving the long-term safety of products.
My name is Milena Ivanova, and I'm a specialist in the field of ecological education. The next goal, number 4, quality education. Environmental education is the foundation for solving climate problems. It helps to attract young people to solve ecological problems and make them aware of climate change. These are indicators. First indicator is the amount of educational centers with purpose of creating a new young green jobs in the climate change sphere. Through this indicator, we can understand how young people are involved in solving environmental problems through practice and decent green work. Second second indicator is the amount of countries and their representatives participating in events for youth international cooperation. For example, IOC. The indicator shows how important international cooperation is to achieve overall climate stability. And third indicator is the amount of civil society organizations who teach children with limited health opportunities about the climate change. The indicator tells us that we must interact with all young people within the framework of climate change, despite their health limitations.
My name is Polina Yegorova, and I'm the Green Economy Specialist. So I'm going to talk about the goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. We are aiming to present our futuristic view on sustainable economic growth in the face of climate change. We truly believe that economy is not primarily about money, but about people and natural resources. Both are affected by climate change. So economic mechanisms should lead to sustainable coexistence between them. So here are our indicators. First one, share of profit earned from the investments implementations in youth startups in the field of green economy. You see, startups are the key tool how our generation drive the economic progress. To harness this potential, we must stimulate greater market demand for green startups. Second one, level of reducing the carbon footprint of companies through implementation of different green technologies. This indicator emphasizes how important are the measures of mitigation as well as adaptation in the sphere of business as the main area of the employment of our generation. Thus, we are going to make more jobs green. And the last but not least, the number of workers experiencing health deterioration due to different climate change factors directly in their workplace. We want to emphasize that the health of employees, which is directly affected by different consequences of climate change, influence the economic growth of companies as well as cities, states, and governments. And so we need to measure how largely it is now.
The next goals are goals number 14 and 15. We have chosen these goals because climate change directly threatens ecosystems. These ecosystems, in turn, absorb the majority of our emissions. My name is Emilia, and I'm a professional ecologist. So, the first indicator is the percentage of funding for youth projects aimed at researching, monitoring, and preserving local ecosystems using new technologies. Healthy ecosystems are key carbon sinks. New technologies can significantly increase the efficiency and reduce the cost of their protection and restoration. The next one is the percentage of people using carbon neutral technologies in agriculture, no-till, organic land use, and etc. Organic land use improves the soil health, allowing it to absorb more carbon dioxide. And the last one is the percentage of national government laws related to monitoring changes in carbon sequestration levels by local forests. Monitoring the carbon sequestration capacity of ecosystems is crucial for countries to fulfill their climate commitments. But why are we doing all this? The answer is simple.
All the Sustainable Development Goals, despite their sphere, are connected with humans' well-being. And the whole idea of sustainable development is to improve the life of living generation and save the planet for the future generation. And the third goal, good health and well-being, is the key one to all the SDGs. And we've chosen this goal because climate change majorly affects different groups of people. And there are a lot of new dangerous diseases that appear from the climate change and a lot of disaster that destroy health of the people. My name is Sofia Salangina. I'm a medical specialist, and now I'm presenting some new indicator for this goal. And the first one is the amount of people that suffered health trouble troubles caused by the climate change consequences, for example, melting of permafrost or heat waves. And the idea is that health of the environment is a key to public health, and many emergencies that cause diseases are the consequences of the climate change. So we need to measure how many people are suffering by this and what is the actual impact. And the second one is the level of access of local people in vulnerable areas to the information about safe behavior and provided medical services. We know that knowledge about health is essential for its keeping. So in the vulnerable areas, for example, the areas of desertification or heat waves, people suffer not only from their health problems, but also from the lack of information about healthcare services and the climate change. So we need to understand how many people are aware of the healthcare opportunities and recommendation in their regions. And the third one is the share of postgraduates of medical universities who work in the sphere of studying and treating climate change effects on people's health. And we know that now we crave scientific researches and new resolutions to save people's health in conditions of climate change. So ecological medicine is a special sphere that we should develop, and that is why we need to understand how many young people like us are trying to work in this sphere and help us to reach the third SDG. So that is all we wanted to say. We want to say thank you to organizers and the United Nations Global Compact and for the IOC organizers. And we want to say that Youth Now is sustainability forever. So we are ready to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you so much. It was very interesting. Maybe someone has questions to the team. Okay, I have specializing questions for you. I'm working in FAO office in Russia, and have you contacted the FAO office in Russia with your work about the Sustainable Development Goals number 2?
Actually, by far no, but we are really aiming and we're pretty interested in this opportunity. And when we would have it, and when we would all somehow be connected with FAO as well, we are really eager to work together, to cooperate somehow, and to present our futuristic view on this goal and our new indicators. Maybe it would be very useful to implement, maybe somewhere in our country or in the on the global level.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it will be very interesting for us, for FAO office, I think too, because the view of young people is very important for FAO and other United Nations organizations. Because yes, thank you so much. It was very interesting. Other questions? Okay, they're going later, and the next team is Myanmar. Myanmar?
It's hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you and see. It's pretty nice that you are together for our session.
Are you able to see?
All right, better.
Okay. So we're the team from Myanmar. And today we're going to present about the 5 SDG goals that we have chosen in previously when we were competing in the ILC in 2025. And today we're going to be talking about the additional indicators that we proposed back in Russia. So the first SDG goal we chose was to add an additional indicator to was goal 6, which stated that specifically 6.3, which stated that by 2030, we wish to improve water quality by reducing pollution and dumping of hazardous materials into the water. And we would also like to recycle and increase safe reuse globally. So the additional indicator we chose to measure the success of this goal was to measure the health of the citizens who consume from these water supplies. This means that we would like to measure the health of the citizens who consume or who fish in these water supplies or perform other activities. So by measuring the health, mood, and well-being of these pupils, we can see the degree of contamination and the threat that the water supply that we measured poses to the local communities, as well as other parts that use these water supplies. So the next goal was goals 13, which states that we wish to take urgent action to combat climate change. Specifically, we would like to raise awareness in local communities in developing and already well-developed countries. So the additional indicator is to, just like we said, measure the awareness levels in the local communities. So by measuring the awareness and education knowledge that the pupils in these local communities already possess, we can see if actions are needed to be taken, if campaigns are needed to be held, right? And if events are needed to be hosted to further educate these members. So by measuring these, and hosting campaigns, we can see if actions are needed to be taken. And by taking further measures, we can reduce cutting of trees and even decrease extinction events. And as we can see globally in a few countries, people are, because due to the lack of knowledge about climate change, people are still cutting down trees because they think that climate change is not a big issue or an urgent issue that needs to be taken care of right now. People are hunting elephants, rhinos for their tusks and horns. So by increasing their knowledge, we can decrease extinction events as well. The next SDG goal is goal 14, which states to, by 2025, which is already past due, but I think we can update the date for this goal. So we wish to prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, such as marine debris and nutrient pollution. Obviously, in our countries, agriculture is a big part of our economy. So by measuring the proportion of contamination within these water supplies and marine life from, say, agricultural activities, we can see how much these water supplies have been contaminated, let's say, due to chemical fertilizers. And because of a lot of countries, especially developing countries near the ocean regions, they base a lot of their economic activities rely on fishing activities. So by measuring the contamination within water supplies and people who consume them, we can see how much these water supplies in these countries have been actually contaminated. The next goal is goal 15, which wishes to protect and restore the land area, terrestrial ecosystems, and sustainably manage forests. Specifically from goal 15, we chose 15.2, which wishes to promote implementation and sustainable management of all types. Basically, this goal wishes to decrease deforestation and increase afforestation. The additional indicator that we chose for this goal is to measure the proportion of countries that have successfully transferred from using wood as the base source of supply, for example, building houses or building other structures, to other eco-friendly materials, such as hemp-free bamboo, things that grow fast and are easily accessible. So by measuring the countries who have successfully transferred from wood, using wood to eco-friendly materials, we can not only halt climate change, but also reduce desertification within these countries and even increase the natural habitats of animals. In our countries, animals such as tigers, for example, have lost a lot of their natural habitats due to deforestation. So by implementing these, they can regain their natural habitats. So the last but not least, the next goal is goal 7 of SDGs, which we chose 2 additional indicators for. First, for 7.1, universal access to affordable and reliable modern energy services, we wish to measure the implementation of policies and construction of renewable energy sources within these countries. So if in developing countries, measuring the progress of construction, renewable energy sources in these countries, we can increase the productivity of these countries. In our countries, because I live in Myanmar, in our country, energy sources are scarce, so people don't have the basic needs that they are required to continue living due to the shortage of energy services. So by measuring the progress of construction of renewable energy sources, nuclear power plants, solar, wind energy services, we can effectively increase their productivity and also see if action and measures are need to be taken and if support is need to be given to these countries to make access to energy services easier. The next goal is 7.8 under the goal 7, which states to enhance international cooperation and to make access to clean energy research and technology easier. So the additional indicator we chose is to measure the rate of transformation in developing countries from fossil fuel-relied technologies to renewable energy sources. It means measuring the transformation among these countries from relying on fossil fuels, such as cars, from fossil fuel-relied cars to EV cars. And in a lot of these countries, still rely on coal or other traditional methods of acquiring energy. So by measuring these, we can see if support is further need to be given to these countries. And we can also measure the progress of these countries to combat climate change and how much progress have they made. So these are the additional indicators that we chose. And if you guys have any further questions, I would be pleased to answer.
Okay, thank you so much. It was very interesting. Someone who has questions? Okay, I have questions.
Я хотел спросить, сколько детям лет. Спасибо.
Им. Михаил, каким?
Okay, Myanmar, have you heard the questions?
Sorry, could you translate?
How old are you?
We are all 16 years old.
Oh,
16. All right, thanks.
you're so young, but you're so interesting in the climate
It was
change.
really, really, very thoughtful. I like it.
Thank you. We appreciate your compliments.
Let's
Okay.
move on. Russian. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think yes, it's all. And the next team is India. Your turn.
Greetings, everyone. We are Team India. First, I would like to thank the ILC team and the UN Global Compact Network India, Russia for giving us this opportunity. We are truly glad to share our thoughts at the global level. So today, our team is going to present a new set of next generation climate indicators that are designed to make SDG progress 12, 13, 14, and 15 because the water consumption, climate action. Well, our first SDG is SDG 6, clean water and sanitization. We chose this SDG because water is the first and most vulnerable casualty of climate change. Rising temperature increases water scarcity, pollution, and coastal contamination. Deltas, rivers, and groundwater systems become more unstable. To address this, we propose 3 new smart SDG indicators. Our first indicator is climate-triggered contamination surge index. So what it is actually? This indicator predicts spikes in water contamination in deltas and coastal areas after extreme weather events. It uses AI plus hydrology models to analyze rainfall intensity, storm surges, and rain-off patterns. But why does it even matter? It allows government to prepare in advance, issue warnings, and prevent pollution tragedies before they happen. Our second indicator is wastewater climate risk flagging system. What is this? An automated system that identifies communities at high risk of water waste contamination due to rising temperature or flooding. It monitors sewage overflow risk, flood water mixing probability, along with temperature-driven bacterial growth. But why does it matter? It protects vulnerable communities before outbreaks occurs. And our third indicator is Coastal Community Water Vulnerability Score, a scoring system that measures how exposed coastal and island communities are to water contamination during extreme weathers. It includes sea level rise, storm surges frequency, drinking water salination, disaster response capacity. It matters because it identifies which global urgent adaptation funds.
Coming to SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, we selected SDG 12 because human consumption drives almost 30% of global emissions. Food waste, overproduction, and unsustainable supply chains link directly to climate pressure, land degradation, and water stress. So we propose 3 innovative indicators for SDG 12. First one is North-South food waste imbalance indicator. So it basically measures the global inequality between food waste in developed nations and post-harvest losses in developing nations. It matters because it highlights the climate injustice in food system where one side wastes food and the other loses it before it reaches market. Our second indicator is carbon density per food unit score, a never used before metric that calculates greenhouse gases emissions per calorie of food produced. It helps identify which food give the highest nutrition for the lowest emissions. It matters because countries can redesign diets, subsidies, and agriculture based on climate efficient nutrition. Coming to the third indicator, Indigenous Sustainable Food Transport Efficiency Index. It measures how sustainable indigenous food transport systems are. It tracks emissions avoided, food losses avoided, resilience to climate disruptions, and prevention of traditional low-waste methods. It matters because indigenous systems are often climate efficient.
Moving on, we have SDG 13, climate change. We selected SDG 13 because climate change is the amplifier. Every crisis becomes worse under rising temperatures. Heat waves, storms, droughts, floods, and sea level rise directly affect water, food, oceans, and land. So here we propose 3 climate indicators. The first is urban heat transport emission coupling factor. The second is fair mobility transition ratio. The third is public climate resilience behavior score. So the first one, urban heat transport emission coupling factor, it shows how traffic emissions intensify a city's heat waves. It links vehicle emissions, urban heat island intensity, temperature rise during peak traffic hours. So why it matters to us? Because cities can finally see the real climate cost of traffic congestion. The second, fair mobility transition ratio. So it measures how fair and balanced a country's shift to clean transport is. It compares EV adoption in rich nations, public transport electrification in developing nations. It matters because it exposes inequalities in the global clean transport transition. The third is the public climate resilience behavior score. So it tracks how citizens actually behave during climate threats. Do they respond to alerts? Do they evacuate when needed? Do they follow heat wave guidelines? Do they reduce water or electricity in emergencies? So this human behavior determines survival, yet no SDG indicator measures it. Moving on, we have SDG 14, life below water. We chose SDG 14 because oceans regulate the climate, store carbon, and support billions of people. But warming waters, coral bleaching, species migration, and pollution threaten marine stability. So here we again propose 3 indicators. The first one is marine species climate migration velocity index. The second one is coral bleaching thermal stress advanced signal. The third one is climate linked fisheries shock forecast. So the first one, marine species climate migration velocity index, it tracks how fast marine species are shifting habitats due to warming oceans. This helps forecast fishery change and protect marine biodiversity. So basically, why marine species migrate? Due to climate change, oceans are warming unevenly across regions and depths. So marine organisms, especially temperature sensitive, respond by moving towards the cooler waters, shifting to greater depths. The second indicator is coral bleaching thermal stress advanced signal. So it uses micro temperature mapping to predict coral bleaching weeks in advance. Each of reef has a unique thermal threshold, and this indicator detects it about to be crossed. We have also done a research on it, and we found out that this a major coral bleach would take place, which is going on currently. So why it matters to us? Because it will provide us early warnings to protect coral ecosystems. The third one, climate links fisheries shock forecast. So it predicts potential fishery collapse by analyzing the species movement, catch declines, the ocean temperature patterns. So why it matters to us? Because it gives nations time to adapt before their fisheries collapse.
And now moving on to Sustainable Development Goal 15, we selected SDG 15 because land, forests, and biodiversity are Earth's natural defense systems, but land degradation, desertification, and species loss threaten food security and rural livelihoods. So therefore, we have proposed 3 indicators. The first one being land degradation, hunger stress coefficient. So basically, it measures how strongly degraded land impacts national food security. And the reason why it matters is because countries can finally quantify how much hunger is driven by land degradation. Now, our second indicator is climate-induced farmer displacement tracker. It basically tracks the migration of farmers, specifically caused by soil degradation, crop failure, drought, land infertility. And the reason why it matters is because it identifies climate-forced displacement that is currently invisible in many countries, especially developing nations. And third, soil degradation, that is food loss correlation index. So basically it connects soil erosion and degraded land directly to crop loss. It helps governments target soil restoration to improve food output. So in conclusion, our 5 SDG cluster provides a complete picture of how climate change affects water, oceans, land, food systems, and human behavior. Our indicators are forward-looking. They are AI-enabled and globally scalable and designed to fill the gaps in existing SDG measurement frameworks. These indicators, they make the SDGs more climate ready, more predictive, and more actionable, supporting a safer, resilient future for all by 2030 and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your solutions. Who has questions?
Yes, I have one question, please. Thank you, team from India. Indeed, your indicators are very objective and promising, really. But I'm wondering, what do you think are the most effective ways to collect the information that you need to fill into your indexes and indicators that you've suggested? For example, for the goal 14, which was connected with water ecosystems as the most tricky areas to collect the information from, to monitor, I believe. How do you think, should we use new automated systems to collect the information there? Or do we need to create maybe volunteer organizations to involve young people in collecting such information and researches? What is your point of view?
Hello. It's a very nice question. So there are many ways of finding this data. We basically use AI and models, but the very first conventional method would be surveys. But along with that, there are many models such as satellite remote sensoring, and there is underwater drone sonar mapping. We can use machine learning, which is an AI, and deep learning, so that we can, quantify carbon stocks, and it can predict changes which are under sea level rise. There are many other ways, and as you said, it is very necessary to create volunteer organizations. It definitely helps in spreading climate knowledge. It helps spreading, information on climate change. So therefore, definitely, I feel like when we create such organizations, it helps, the common people to connect with the ministries of the government as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, do you have some of them in your countries, like volunteering organizations?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. There are many. We also have many programs such as Generation Global. We have we have Niti Aayog. We also have Go Sharpener, and there are other and local NGOs as well, such as um, I think Future for Fridays. It's led by Greta Thunberg, and there are many as Terry as well. So yes, thank you.
You mean
Yeah, thank
Fridays
you
for
for such
Future,
fulfilling
right?
answer.
Not vice versa. Right? Sanika, you
Yes,
meant
my name is
Fridays for
Sanika.
Future, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And other questions? Okay, let's move on. And the next team is team from Ethiopia. Mikhail, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can see you and hear.
Okay, please wait me to cast the screen.
Совсем молоденький мальчик.
Mikhail,
It's my screen display for you.
no, we can see your screen.
Okay, please wait me.
Demonstration. The green.
Okay.
Can we help you?
It cannot share my screen for you.
Let me share the screen in the group it present. I'm the team leader from Ethiopia. I can share the presentation.
Okay. Is my screen share for you, everyone?
Yeah, we can see.
First of all, I'm Burkavo from Team Ethiopia. Now I'm gonna present about our selective SDG goals and indicators. So we're gonna first slide in here. We're gonna present impact of climate change at SDG steps. So first we start by what is Agenda 2030. So it is formally called Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It adopted by all state members of UN in 2015. It has 70 goals and 169 targets. Those are focused on to eradicate poverty, hunger, ensure health, quality education, gender equality, and addressing climate action and clean water. So we select out those 5 SDG goals. The first one is sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all, urgent action to climate change and its impact, conservation, suitable use the ocean, seas, marine resources for sustainable development, and the last, not the last goal, protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainable manage forests, combat desertification, halt land rivers degradation, and biodiversity. So let's see them one by one. The first we selected goal is goal 16, sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. As you know, like in Africa, it is a major problem of poor water sanitation and allocation of water resource for undeveloped area. So we choose this goal. So provide sanitary materials and water for rural or undeveloped area. As we look, there is lack of clean water, sanitation material, especially in rural area of undeveloped cities. So we can provide clean water and sanitation materials by fund or in another way, and creating awareness for areas which are far from the information about climate change and water management. So as you look in this image, there people take water from a river, rivers, lakes. So we can provide sanitation materials, create awareness for them, how to use sanitation materials they use. So by we can creating awareness how to sanitate water, how to use water, and we give them sanitary materials to purify those waters. As you look, those waters are not clean. They are disadvantage for their health, and we choose this goal because of this reason. The second one is goal 7: access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. So, by in this goal, we can put these indicators using waste to energy principle. As I can say, waste to energy principle. It is a principle that converts waste materials to energy, like using incineration, fermentation, or aerobic reaction. So, using the principle, we can limit, reduce the emission of carbon dioxide to the environment. This emission causes the increasing of greenhouse gases into the environment, causing global warming by trapping radiation that need to reflect from the Earth's surface. So, as in this goal, we use those two methods. The first one is incineration. Incineration is a process used to change wastes into into electricity. As you look in this image, there is wastes in there, but by burning out those wastes, we get electricity. So from what step we get electricity? This is a waste, and when a waste burned, the heat energy boil the water, and the steam power generate electricity. So we can have electricity, so we can make sustainable energy. And the second one is aerobic or reaction or fermentation, by using machines. Like our project is based on the making of organic fertilizers. So by making composts from wastes like aerobic bio wastes to produce organic fertilizer. And as you look, we use bio wastes like food and other bio wastes to produce organic fertilizer that help the soil fertility, increase productivity. And the third one is urgent action to climate change in this impact. In this goal, we use by improving waste management system, by reusing, recycling wastes. So in this case, we see by reusing wastes like plastics, and by reducing those wastes, enforcing industries to use renewable energy rather than fossil fuel based on their location. Industries can use solar, hydropower, wind, geothermal, tidal, and energy from waste recovery. So we enforce industries to use renewable energy rather than fuel, such as hydropower from water, wind, geothermal, tidal power from ocean waves. So when industries use the sustainable energies instead of fossil fuels, they decrease global warming, carbon emission. And the third one, establishing rules and regulations and customized to local laws to enforce industries to avoid the release of their wastes products to the environment. So we make rules and regulations to those industries to avoid their release, by purify their wastes. Like if their waste is carbon dioxide, they use technology that convert carbon dioxide to oxygen. So by making rules for the industries to avoid their wastes, like they purify their wastes. And the last one is enforce industries to minimize their wastes emission and reuse of air pollution. And next, goal 14, conserve and sustainable use of oceans, marine resources. For sustainable development, there should be regulation to protect and keep distance between industries and water bodies, since the waste water from the industry pollutes the waste. So we can regulate the distance between the industries and the water by making rules and regulations. So we make the distance between industries and water areas. So if the industries are made far above from the water, there is no water pollution. And by making rules and regulations that prohibits industries or households or market centers and other facilities to prevent from releasing waste to water bodies, since there is waste decrease and water quality. In this case, we make rules and regulations that prohibits industries to prevent their wastes from water bodies. As I mentioned in the above, we make rules that prohibit industries from emitting their wastes. Instead of emission, they purify their wastes. So by making these rules, industries mustn't release wastes to water bodies. So they purify the release, like purifying their wastes and so on. The last, not the last one, is goal 15, protect, restore and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainable management, forest and combat desertification, halt land reverse degradation and biodiversity loss by putting strategy like green legacy, Ethiopian government strategy to solve climate change and environmental pollution. In our country, there is strategy to combat climate change, like our Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed makes this strategy like green legacy by planting trees in one day. So this strategy combat climate change, combat desertification by promote afforestation process, by protecting soil erosion, providing animal shelter, improve release of oxygen to the environment. So in my country, we would work in the green legacy and we combat climate change. And as I generalize, if you have any question and suggestion, you can ask. I'm volunteer.
Thank you so much. Maybe questions? Okay, I have questions. Could you tell me, maybe you have shown your decision and your solution to the administration, maybe of your country or your city?
I didn't hear you. Can you again the question?
Maybe you have showed your solutions to the administration in your country or in your city.
Yes.
In what they told?
Like in our country, as I mentioned, like with green legacy, but we are in process to implement all SDG indicators, but we implement by afforestation, only afforestation.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and other questions? Okay, that's all.
Можно спросить?
Yes.
Большое спасибо очень хорошему ребенку из Эфиопии за выступление. И от имени Международного союза пионерских организаций хотим поздравить детей Эфиопии, что конференция по климату, 32-я конференция в 2027 году пройдет в Эфиопии. Это очень хорошо, что Эфиопию выбрали для проведения этой конференции. И хотим пожелать этому замечательному ребенку, чтобы он выступил через 2 года ровно на взрослой конференции, потому что очень-очень хороший ребенок. Толковый, вдумчивый, хорошо все рассказывает и владеет тематикой. Спасибо.
I think all of us are really hopeful for it. Thank you so much, Mikhail. And we want to say thank you so much for all teams, and thank you so much, Sirius, for this wonderful international Olympiad, because it's very important for all young people to take and to do something for climate agenda and agenda for 2030, and to do something for our future, because I think our generation can make a lot for our future. Thank you so much. And the next speaker is Darina Yelizarova. She will talk about the business and young people. And she is a manager, Center for International Partnership, Rosatom Corporate Academy. Darina?
Yes, hello, dear colleagues. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay. So today we have heard truly inspiring presentations from young people, and it's just impossible not to feel encouraged by their ideas and dedication. And in turn, I would like to share several initiatives that our company is implementing to support youth and to integrate them into the global agenda. So to begin with, Rosatom has been actively participating in the UN climate change conferences since 2021, and each year we strive to support young people both from Russia and from other countries. And for example, last year at the COP29, we had Nuclear Dream Youth Reception, which was held at Petrolia Villa in Baku. We organized this event and invited more than 100 young COP29 participants. It was open for all who wanted to join us, and the event was dedicated to the history of clean energy and particularly to the evolution of nuclear technologies in Russia, from past achievements to future innovations. And it was a great event. With different speakers from international organizations such as World Nuclear Association and International Atomic Energy Agency. Another key initiative implemented last year was the Clean Energy Ambassadors Program. We launched it in June, so it was a long time before the COP29. We have selected best of the best representatives, young representatives from Russia. Then we have educated them by inviting different experts from the both from Russia and from other countries. And we were also fortunate to collaborate with our colleagues from Sirius, who provided additional learning opportunities for our ambassadors, for which we are sincerely grateful. It was a great collaboration. As a result of this program, 5 ambassadors, 5 young representatives of Russia represented our country at the youth segment of the COP29, and they have participated in thematic sessions at different pavilions. They have organized their own side events. They attended Yango briefings. They filmed different reports. And for us, as a business, it was an extremely valuable experience because we invested in these young people, helped them cultivate the right values and deep understanding of the agenda, which they lately conveyed at the international level. Also, after their participation, they created reports, and their reports in turn gave us an opportunity to gain deeper understanding and deeper insights from the conference's activities, because it is never possible to see every pavilion or attend every session at COP. And for the ambassadors, of course, I think it was a truly unique chance to take part in such major international event. And I know that one of them also now work at our company, so it was a really great opportunity for both of us. This year, we launched a slightly different program. At 7th BRICS Youth Energy Summit, BRICS Nuclear Platform held a side event, Prospects of SMR-based NPP Development, which was the starting point for the youth-led special report. And 16 young researchers from 9 countries and 12 organizations joined the BRICS Young Experts Group on Nuclear and Technologies to create these small modular reactors report. And last week at COP30 at Belém in Brazil, they presented this report, this special report. And I think that this is likely the first time that young scientists from so many countries jointly developed and showcased a scientific project at the climate change conferences. And we really just feel encouraged for them. Another significant project for us this year was the presentation of the results achieved by Impact Team 2050 members from Argentina and Brazil. This is Impact Team 2050 is an advisory council, youth advisory council to the Director General of Rosatom State Corporation, Mr. Likhachov. 12 leaders from 12 countries provide their recommendations on how to advance nuclear solutions, nuclear technologies, and low-carbon energy solutions in their respective regions. And in return, they receive opportunities to implement their own projects with the support of our company, with the support of Rosatom in their countries. So one of these initiatives was the project named Building Up the Latin American Youth Nuclear Movement. Two our representatives had their different events for 2 years. So they had Latin American Nuclear Forum last year, and this year they had a hackathon on sustainability in Argentina. They had festival in Bolivia. They had online and offline workshops. And in total, it were more than 250 participants from 9 countries, and the total reach was 10 million people. And last week, and they have presented the results of this project at COP30 also in Brazil. They had their own side event with International Atomic Energy Agency. They presented the Impact Team 2050 as an initiative of Rosatom. And of course, they had their own project. They just gained an opportunity to be a part of COP30 and participate in different sessions in different pavilions, represented their countries and also our company. So this cooperation benefits both sides. For us as a business, it helps deep in on understanding of their engagement in the agenda in their local context. For young leaders, it is an opportunity to gain real experience and prepare for their future careers, potentially even within Rosatom's international offices, for example. So the final project that I would like to highlight is our declaration on nuclear cooperation. This year, Rosatom celebrated the 80th anniversary of the nuclear industry. And that's why in September in Moscow, we have held the World Atomic Week event, the largest event of its kind. More than 2,000 young people from 70 countries attended. And over the course of the week, 100 young specialists and researchers in nuclear industry, in sustainability, in climate agenda, and other fields participated in a strategic session on draft the declaration. So the final document was presented to the Rosatom's leadership and to the International Atomic Energy Agency, and the younger experts identified 7 core principles that you can see on the screen. And now we try to share this declaration, and now it's available on our website, and everyone can join it. More than 1,000 people already joined us. So to conclude, I would like to emphasize that today young people have plenty of opportunities, just more opportunities than ever before. And this is truly remarkable, but it is equally important for businesses to work with them, to prepare them for real professional work, and to attract them into their businesses, and to help cultivate the right values and understanding of the global agenda. And our dear young participants and our younger speakers, please do not hesitate to collaborate with businesses. Take advantage of the available opportunities and just continue learning, continue being so proactive as you were today. And finally, I just would like to invite everyone interested to join our declaration on nuclear cooperation and our youth community by scanning the QR code. Thank you.
Darina, thank you for joining us and told a lot of information about our opportunities and about business and young people. Thank you so much. And
Sure.
Yes. Thank you so much. And the next speaker is me. Katerina, please add my presentation. And today I will talk you about my project about the Open Model United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in GMO, about wonderful opportunity, I think, for all young people in the whole world to imagine themselves the climate delegation and to know something new about negotiation process. Next slide, please. Katerina, please, next slide. Could you hear me? Okay, and I will start about our events. We have been organized this event for 2 years with my science advisor, Близнецкая Екатерина Alexandrovna from GMO. Yes, and this year we have a lot of interesting speakers. They are from other organizations, for example, from the ministry, from the global contact. And it was very interesting and very important for all delegates, because they motivated us and they taught a lot about their background in the negotiation process, what they can do in some interesting experience. And they were told about a lot about Russian process and what can we do in some situation, and why it's very important for Russia to take part in this convention. Next slide, please. And this year we have three groups about climate change and cities, about and we have some groups about energy transfer and about droughts. And it was very important for all. This year we have more than 100 delegates from the other countries, and they told us that it was very important for them to know something new about countries. They analyzed some documents, what happened in these countries and what they can do, and we have a lot of new negotiation process. Next slide, please. And this photo from our events, and we really hope that next year we will visit us and take part in our events and knew something about this event, about this process. And it is very interesting event, and one of the biggest for climate change in my university in Gimo. And we are waiting for you next year. And yes, thank you so much. And if you have some questions, thank you. I will say something about maybe questions. Maybe you can join us next year.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to join you this year, and I hope that the next year I'll join you again on this model.
Yes, thank you. We're waiting for you next year too.
Yes, and maybe on other demo projects this year also.
Okay, maybe any questions? Okay, thanks.
What's the timeline for this model, please? I just missed the part. What's the timeline?
Could you repeat the questions?
I mean, what's the timeline of this model conference that you mentioned earlier?
This event is for 3 days, and the first day was about the presentation of positions of delegations, and they have some talks about the delegation inside, and they talk about the some organization that can help them for the statistics. The day 2 was about project of resolutions, and the third day was about they took the projects, and after it was a little photo session, and we talk about our model and what we can do next year.
I get it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our blog for this session, we will talk about our experts. Our young people, I think, have a lot of questions. The first one is Mikhail Ivanov, the head of Cluster Technologies for Environmental Protection, Bauman Moscow State Technical University. Mikhail Yulkin, CEO of Carbon Lab. Yuri Fursa, CEO Center for Sustainable Development Technologies. Vladimir Lukin, CAPT. Alexander Rybых, chair of the All-Russian Environmental Public Movement Ecosystem. Mikhail Stepanov, Chief Sustainable Officer of International Non-Governmental Organization, International Union of Children's Public Association, Union of Pioneer Organization, Federation of Children's Organization. Tatiana Sokolova, Associate Professor, Higher School of Economics. And I think that all of us have some questions for these experts. You can ask everything, because these people can help us maybe to know something new about climate agenda in the world and in Russia. And our experts, what do you think about our young people with a lot of ideas about solution in our climate agenda?
Yeah, shall I start?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I'm deeply impressed. Concern me a little bit. Some people were more focusing on particular projects, and some, on the contrary, were focusing about the indicators and indices that can be used to measure.
Recording in progress.
In different spheres of climate change and climate-related activities. So I'm kind of confused about that. What was actually the initial idea? As far as I understand, the idea was to mainly focus on the indicators that can be added to the normal traditional set of indicators representing sustainable development goals. However, some people were like more practical than theoretical, methodological. That, well, probably it's good. Probably it's good at, well, but really difficult to kind of compare and to evaluate and provide like good feedbacks. You're speaking about the indicators. Well, there was a lot of them. However, probably the main problem I would have would be, are there any like information available to calculate those indices and indicators in terms of like, migrating of people, migrating of species underwater or on land or whatever. And what would the cost be associated with, collecting all the information, if any of that is actually available? However, that probably means that we would need to improve our statistics. We probably need to start collecting some new data in order to be able actually to measure the processes associated with climate change. So basically, it's all also, well, I would not criticize that, well, there's no information available, so how can you calculate? Probably the idea would be even deeper. Why shouldn't we start rethinking our statistics, first of all, in order to be able really to adequately measure the processes rather than, cherry picking or guessing what is actually happening? So probably I would say that, well, I would probably say thank you very much to all of the participants. I would probably say that, well, it was a nice and very, I would say, overwhelming picture of what young people are thinking about climate change and what they are worried with relation to climate change. So, well, it would be nice to maybe have at some point a more like methodological discussion about this, rather than presenting some ideas of what those indicators can be, to go a little bit in more details and to find out whether the statistical measurement can be actually improved to really become more adequate to the processes that they are supposed to measure. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, well, I'm actually a specialist in climate economics and climate change management. So if you have any question to me, I would be really honored to answer if any. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mikhail. I think that our young specialists, young people, can rethink our data and this information. I think because I think that our young people we can call fresh brains, maybe because we don't have very, how to say it in English, насмотренность.
Well, the main privilege of youth is actually ignorance. You don't know that something is impossible, right? For you, everything is still possible unless you really understand that everything has like its constraints and limits. So you can actually go beside the limits because you don't know the limits, and that is good. And this is more like correspond with what Steve Jobs was saying: stay foolish, right? Stay hungry. And foolishness is not necessarily a bad thing. To some point, it's a very good thing to really know less rather than to know more, because you know more, you have a lot of sorrows, as we all know. But when you're young and you have fresh thinking, you can actually think behind the hands and actually create new ideas and come up with new ideas and come up with like new theories, whatever. So it was really chilling to participate in a session like this. But I really would like to make, to some point, to try to come back to the ground and try to find solutions on the ground rather than high up in the sky, right? Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mikhail. Are there our experts? Maybe you wants something to add about our section, and maybe young people, you have one wonderful opportunity to ask something that our experts about this. Yes, Mikhail Stepanov. We can hear you. Your microphone is turned off. Mikhail, your microphone.
Спасибо. Если будет эхо, скажите, пожалуйста, если я что-то выключу. У меня два устройства. Я хочу отметить высокий уровень всех детей, в том числе дети не допустили такую довольно частую ошибку взрослых, даже руководителей. То, что часто взрослые путают понятия изменения климата, охрана природы, экология, устойчивое развитие. То есть понятийно и терминологически бывает, что эти понятия смешивают и путают, демонстрируя некоторое неполное понимание этих понятий. А дети, которые выступали, они избежали.
Children we've had here today actually managed to avoid this mistake and this confusion, which is excellent. Now, all the presentations have been extremely interesting. Our international union brings together the child organizations of all the 15 republics of the former Soviet Union. And unfortunately, the minority of children actually know of the issues of climate change, and oftentimes they learn about these issues due to the fact that in the past in Tajikistan they used to go sledding in wintertime. Whereas with the climate change, the ice caps started melting. So right now, kids can no longer do any sledding in wintertime, which is sad. And later on, children learn to understand that the problem is actually much more pronounced, much bigger, especially in so much as relates to the natural disasters. This is why we are ready to involve the children of our 15 republics and the 80 countries of the world with which we are friends in the community of the child associations and organizations. We're ready to involve children into the climate agenda implementation and development, not only in our traditional formats like the school forestries, the young mariners, the international friendship clubs, but also in research on climate change. Our young mariners that do around the world sail regattas have to work together with the scientists, with the researchers, in order to study the climate of the world ocean, the currents of Gibraltar, and so on. So thanks very much to all the children. Children are wonderful.
Thank you, Mikhail. Daria, do you want something to add?
Yeah, good evening or good afternoon, depending on where you are. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'd also like to mention that young generation, like 1 year ago, I was still a young generation in the age of minority, but our young generation is very powerful. And when speaking about climate change and what we do, I think that, and I hope that they will be the future of our life. Thank you all the teams from Ethiopia, Myanmar, Russia, and lots of other different countries from the different parts of the world to be here. it's the inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Other experts, what do you think about our station? Or young people, maybe you have some questions to our experts. I have questions. What's the opportunity for young people can give your organization? For example, I know that ecosystem can give some opportunities for development. Alexandra Rybych, are you here? Okay, she's not here, I think. Young people, maybe you have some questions. Maybe you.
Daria, can I add some words like at the end in case no one? Oh, yeah. But Tatiana has raised her hand. Daria.
Okay. Yes, Tatiana.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. Yes, thank you, dear organizing committee. Thank you, dear colleagues. I think I can call you colleagues. Nevertheless, you are teenagers and students. I'm welcoming you from the High School of Economics in Moscow, and you know we're kind of research institution, so we're mostly focusing on research. But by the way, I was so inspired by your projects, and as a researcher from the communication study and communication scientist, I wish I could say you to improve your projects, to make them stronger in case of communication. Please don't forget that not only social or climate impact is crucial and important, but also the facts you are communicating with stakeholders and who are involved in this process. And according to our research in High School of Economics, we have to underline that all the UN goals are connected, and we cannot just talk about climate action, ignoring the fact that it could affect well-being, for example. And in this case, please think about your projects in case you can improve the whole situation, not only in this particular UN goal. And I think it's crucial, and I wish you good luck and hope to see you again in another option, in another role. And of course, we're so happy to have you here. Thank you for spending this time with us and sharing your fantastic projects.
Thank you so much.
Mikhail Stepanov, you have your hand raised. Do you want to add something, or it's just like you haven't? Okay, got it. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't put my hand down, but I just wanted to add it would be really excellent to keep up in the contacts and to keep in touch and to make sure all the children that spoke today keep in touch. The participants, the child participants of the international contests on ecology and the environment could hear us kindly keep these contacts in the international network of child and teenager activists, so that perhaps once a year we could get together in video conferences like this, because I can see a lot of potential in children. And it would be great to keep contacts and to make sure this informal child environmental network works, so that children can communicate in Telegram and on other platforms. We actually had this example during the pandemic of COVID-19, when there was an existential threat to humanity. We had a WhatsApp team. And in fact, dozens of global countries exchanged their experience on COVID, and this was a nice format to make sure children could continue communicating among them, because adults exchange experience. Science is international. And in children, it's really important that you have international education, international friendship. I mean, the adults, we have this, but in children, you bring up the truly international approach, the international friendship through communication and partnership. So we ought to think of how we preserve the communication among the children who spoke today. I can see Mikhail Ivanov, and I send my greetings to him. Thank you, Mikhail.
Thank you very much.
You have the floor.
Should I speak in English better, or Russian? English, I think, is
up to you, but English is better in case you can.
So also from my side, I represent Bauman Moscow State Technical University, is one of the leading technical universities in the world. And I was carefully listening to all the speeches of all the delegates. I can address to everyone who was speaking right now that I'm totally excited with the level of the speeches and of the materials that were presented. It is fascinating that bright people are driving and fostering world ecological and climate actions, and listening to this, listening to all of you, I am pretty sure that we will live in a very, very safe world, which will have lots of access to clean water, fresh air, biodiversity, and it will be a wonderful world. And plus to this, I would like to especially address to the technological aspects of the reports made. I'm very eager, and I would like to foster all kind of researches that you make that are based on development of different our ecological and climate technologies. Please, colleagues, if you have any options in the future, put your hands on engineering as much as you can, because all engineering and all technological change will start here. But all the other of you who are dealing with with engineering, I mean the broad aspects of engineering, of course, but all the others who are medical people, who are economists, who are politicians and others, you are even more important, because you will help us engineers to properly pack our technologies and make them working as efficient as possible. So every profession is important, but I would like to address engineering again. Thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing you in the very different our professional activities that we make in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mikhail.
Okay, Daria, can I make a final conclusion, if I may, if there is nobody would like to add something to our discussion?
Certainly, Alexander.
Okay, everyone, what I would like to ask you, I would like to ask you a very strange thing. One of the mostly recognized threats these days is overconsumption. So I would like our younger generation to become a person who does overconsumption. Why? I think that you know that our brain is what consumes the most of the energy we use. So I will kindly ask you to make your brain think over what we were discussing today and consume as much energy and use it for the best, to find the solutions in order that we could reach our goals, sustainable development ones, and fasten our trip to a sustainable development future. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your energy, for your passion. And I wish you all the very best. And hope to see you as soon as possible within our next discussions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexander. And I would like to say thank you so much, Sirius, for this wonderful International Olympian, for preparing our teams. And thank you so much, United Nations Global Compact Network Russia, for organizing this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. It was really nice. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks.